Last night's Late Show turned into an absolute firestorm as Stephen Colbert and Elon Musk clashed in one of the most jaw-dropping live TV moments in recent memory. What was supposed to be a fun and witty segment quickly unraveled into a shocking verbal battle that had everyone on the edge of their seats. Before we dive in, please like and subscribe, and make sure to stay till the end. From the second Elon Musk walked onto that stage, something felt off. The audience could feel it. The energy in the room shifted. It wasn't long before the smiles turned into stiff stares. Colbert, never one to hold back, welcomed Musk with a grin that had just a hint of mischief behind it. As they shook hands, you could already tell this wasn't going to be just another polite celebrity interview. "So, Elon," Colbert began, his voice dripping with sarcasm, "trying to colonize Mars and people's brains now? Do we get a package deal if we sign up for both?" The crowd roared with laughter, but Musk's smile barely moved. Musk responded with a calm but clearly rehearsed statement about Neuralink and SpaceX, trying to keep the mood light. But Colbert wasn't done poking. He leaned in, raised an eyebrow, and delivered a cutting follow-up. "Because, obviously, if anyone should be putting chips in brains," Colbert added, mock seriously, "it's the same guy whose cars explode if you look at them the wrong way." The audience howled, but Elon's face went stone cold. "That's a huge exaggeration," Musk replied sharply, his jaw tightening. "Tesla makes some of the safest vehicles on the road." But Colbert wasn't letting up. Not tonight. "Oh, definitely," Colbert fired back, nodding with fake sincerity. "Nothing screams safety like your car thinking a stop sign is a green light at the Indy 500. Laughter again. Loud, awkward, and electric. Musk shifted in his seat, clearly irritated now. His fingers twitched on the armrest, and his expression darkened. The mood was changing fast, and everyone could feel it. "Let's not pretend you're some kind of expert on engineering," Musk snapped, his voice cold. "You're a comedian, not a scientist." The crowd gasped, unsure whether to cheer or squirm. Colbert gave a sly smirk and crossed his arms. "I don't have to be an engineer," he said. "I just have to read headlines, like the one where your Cybertruck's door jammed during a live demo." That line landed like a slap. Even the audience was shocked silent for a moment, then burst into laughter as Musk's expression dropped completely. "I came here to talk about real innovation," Musk said firmly, visibly tense. "Not get ambushed by cheap shots from someone who hasn't built anything." "And I'm here to make sure billionaires don't call hype progress," Colbert shot back, his tone sharper now. He was locked in. Colbert didn't wait for another reply. "Let's talk Twitter, or should I say, X. You renamed it like you're auditioning to be the next Bond villain." "Please like and subscribe. Let's continue." The audience cracked up again, but Musk wasn't laughing. He angled his body away from Colbert slightly, visibly seething. "I'm building a platform for free speech," Musk said, his voice tight, his words careful and cold. "Not some censored media circus." Colbert leaned forward, eyes focused. "Free speech?" he echoed. "You let conspiracy theorists run wild and then ban journalists for asking questions. That's not free speech. That's ego." The audience reaction was split. Some laughed nervously. Some clapped. Others stayed dead quiet. Musk's face had gone from annoyed to furious. "You've become a parody of yourself," Colbert said, lowering his voice, his smile now gone. "You used to be a visionary. Now you're just a troll with a rocket." The air in the studio went ice cold. Musk scoffed audibly. "This is ridiculous," he muttered, staring daggers at Colbert. The moment was tense beyond belief, and it was only getting worse. Colbert leaned in, sensing the tension had reached its peak. But instead of backing off, he pushed even harder. "You're juggling 5 companies at once," he said. "Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, the Boring Company, and Twitter. Sorry, X. It's like you're speedrunning a billionaire's midlife crisis." The studio audience erupted with a mix of laughter, gasps, and stunned silence. Musk sat frozen for a second, jaw clenched, eyes burning with frustration. "And let's not forget," Colbert continued, completely unfazed, "you promised self-driving cars by 2020, people on Mars by 2022, and brain-computer telepathy by now. But here we are, still dodging potholes in your Teslas and watching satellites glitch out on live streams." Musk's lips tightened, his hands now clenched on his lap. You could almost see the fury building in his expression. He was on the verge of boiling over. Colbert tilted his head, his voice dropping into a razor-sharp whisper. "Is it possible you're just over-promising and under-delivering? That you care more about attention than actual?" Colbert tilted his head, his voice dropping into a razor-sharp whisper. "Is it possible you're just over-promising and under-delivering? That you care more about attention than actual results?" The line hit like a lightning bolt. The room was silent, utterly frozen. Even the band didn't dare make a sound. "That's a low blow, Stephen," Musk snapped, his voice shaking slightly from the effort to stay composed. "You have no idea what it takes to build what I've built." "And yet," Colbert replied instantly, "not as low as Tesla's stock after your last tweet." The crowd gasped again. This wasn't just comedy anymore. It was a straight-up confrontation. Please like and subscribe. Let's continue. Reports had already begun circling that Tesla shares had dipped that very day following another bizarre tweet from Musk's personal account. Colbert knew it, and he drove the knife in deeper. "I mean," Colbert continued, gesturing toward the camera, "if your tweets were Tesla's, they'd be recalled by the end of the week." The audience roared with wild laughter, half in shock, half in awe. That was the final straw. Elon Musk stood up suddenly, his voice rising as he snapped, "This is a clown show!" He ripped off his microphone with one hard yank, the wire catching on his blazer. A production assistant rushed toward him, but Musk waved them off angrily. "I don't have to sit here and be insulted by a man who mocks real work because he's never built a single thing." Meanwhile, Colbert sat alone in his dressing room, the roar of the studio still echoing in his ears. He scrolled through his feed, sipping water, his eyes dancing over headlines that sounded more like tabloid covers than news. He paused on one. "Tesla drops 7% in after-hours trading following Musk's on-air blow-up." He read it twice, then tapped away, the weight of what had just happened starting to sink in. At that moment, Elon Musk had gone completely dark on social media. No tweets, no statements, just eerie silence from a man who usually couldn't stay offline for more than an hour. Then, at 2:13 a.m., the silence broke with a single post. "Some people confuse jokes with journalism. Others confuse failure with fame. Guess which one sat behind a desk tonight? I build the future." He added, "Read the cards." The tweet exploded instantly, with over 400,000 retweets in under an hour. By sunrise, YouTubers were already dissecting every glare, every smirk, every twitch of Musk's jaw during the interview. Analysts debated whether Colbert had gone too far, or if Musk had finally cracked under real pressure. But the drama wasn't just playing out online. Behind the scenes, things were getting tense fast. CBS executives were furious. Tesla pulled its ad sponsorship by noon, and SpaceX pulled out of next week's science segment. Denise knocked once and stepped into Colbert's dressing room. "3 producers and CBS PR are on hold," she said. her voice tight. "They want a statement, preferably one that doesn't sound like you enjoyed humiliating a billionaire on live television." Colbert didn't even look up. "He came here expecting a free promo reel," he said. "Instead, he got challenged, and he didn't like it." "They're saying you may have cost the network millions," Denise warned. "This isn't just TV beef. He's powerful, vindictive, and now he's angry." Colbert stood, walked over to the mirror, and straightened his tie. "Then maybe he shouldn't be so easy to poke," he said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were blazing. Back at Tesla HQ, Musk was already assembling his inner circle. PRs, engineers, lawyers, even his brother. A massive screen replayed the interview on loop, but Musk never looked at it. "I want him off the air," Musk snapped, pacing furiously. His top lawyer frowned. "You can't cancel Colbert, Elon. He's not an app you own." "Then I'll outshine him," Musk growled. "I'll build something better, a platform that doesn't bow to legacy media. Let's make The Late Show look like an antique. Please like and subscribe. Let's continue." Hours later, a teaser dropped across all of Musk's channels: Tesla dashboards, Starlink homepages, the X app, everywhere. It showed a sleek logo and one word: vision, followed by a countdown launching in 72 hours. Inside the Ed Sullivan Theater, Colbert's team watched in disbelief. Denise held up her tablet. "You need to see this," she said. Colbert stared at the live feed. Musk was seated in a futuristic studio, speaking directly to 170 million followers. "Tonight," he said, "we begin something new." The countdown had started, and war had been declared. This wasn't just about a TV interview anymore. This was personal. The internet exploded the moment Vision went live. Millions tuned in as the countdown hit 0, and the screen filled with pulsing lights, sleek transitions, and a futuristic studio straight out of a sci-fi movie. It didn't look like a talk show. It looked like a tech summit hosted by a villain from a superhero movie. Elon Musk stepped into the spotlight, wearing a charcoal turtleneck, his face calm, composed, and full of quiet fury. "Legacy media is broken," he began, "and we're here to fix it." His voice echoed across screens around the world. He didn't name Colbert, but he didn't have to. Every line, every word, was a loaded message. "We don't need curated laughs and pre-approved jokes," he said. "We need raw truth, real ideas, and fearless thinkers." People online went wild. His fans were cheering, calling him a visionary, a warrior for free speech. But others saw something else: an ego creating a playground where only his voice echoed loudest. Then came the real shocker. Without warning, the screen shifted to a new teaser: a silhouette in a chair across from Musk, unmistakably Stephen Colbert. The audience lost its mind. Was it real? Was he actually going to appear on Vision? The internet split in half. Half shouted, "He's going to confront Elon again." The other half said, "It's fake, a bluff." But back in the Ed Sullivan Theater, Colbert stared at the screen and said just 3 words: "It's an invitation." 2 nights later, Vision's premiere aired live across X and in Tesla dashboards, with over 10 million viewers tuning in within the first 10 minutes. Then, without any fanfare, the camera cut to the other chair. Stephen Colbert was sitting there. No introduction, no smile, just a long, hard stare across the table. "You invited me?" Colbert said, his voice low and serious. "Here I am." Musk nodded, almost like he respected the nerve. "Unfiltered," he said. "You first." The tension was suffocating. For a few minutes, things stayed calm. Musk repeated his mission: replacing old media with a platform for truth. He accused late-night shows of pushing narratives, of manipulating laughter, of using humor to hide real agendas. Colbert listened carefully, arms folded, not flinching once. Then he struck. "You're not offering truth," he said. "You're offering confirmation bias in high definition. This isn't freedom. It's ego wrapped in Wi-Fi." The studio went silent. Musk didn't respond. He just narrowed his eyes. But Colbert wasn't done. "You think you were humiliated?" he asked. "You walked in thinking you were too important to be questioned. That's not confidence. That's arrogance. Please like and subscribe. Let's continue." Musk gave a dry chuckle, but the fire behind his eyes didn't fade. "Says the man who built a career pretending to be smarter than his guests," he shot back. "I never pretended," Colbert replied instantly. "I asked questions. You're the one who thinks being questioned is an attack." Then came the knockout. Colbert leaned forward, eyes locked with Musk's. "You're not the future," he said. "You're a mirror built big enough for one man to stare at himself and call it innovation." The crowd watching online went silent. Musk's fingers flexed on the desk. His jaw moved like he was chewing on the next move, but no words came out for several long, heavy seconds. Finally, Musk turned to the camera and spoke with a cool, practiced smile. "I think the audience can decide who won this round," he said softly. Colbert stood. "I didn't come to win," he said, his voice flat. "I came to end this." Then he turned and walked off the stage, this time on his terms. The internet went absolutely berserk. The clip of Colbert leaving Vision instantly hit the top of trending lists worldwide. The headlines came in hot. Colbert confronts Musk again. Colbert ends it with one line: "Vision or illusion?" News networks looped the moment non-stop. Reddit threads dissected every pause and glare. TikTok flooded with reaction videos, some praising Musk, others saluting Colbert as a legend of media courage. But the aftermath told the real story. Vision continued, but it didn't become the media empire Musk had envisioned. It found an audience, but not the takeover he'd hoped for. His fans loved it, but advertisers were cautious, and mainstream viewers didn't buy in fully. Meanwhile, back at the Late Show, ratings were through the roof. New viewers tuned in every night, not for the jokes, but for the edge. People wanted to know if Colbert would strike again. Sponsors who'd pulled out came crawling back. New deals came in, but the network wasn't celebrating just yet. Behind the scenes, executives were nervous, walking a tightrope between support and fear. They wanted Colbert to move on, to tone it down, to apologize at least a little. But he refused. He believed the moment mattered, and that someone had to stand up when power started building its own reality. Then, 1 week later, Colbert stood backstage before walking out again. Denise turned to him, her voice low. "You think he'll ever come back on the show?" Colbert adjusted his tie, smirking just slightly. "Only if he brings cue cards," he said. She laughed. "Are you going to talk about him tonight?" He shook his head. "I've already said everything I needed to say,